Look at this coming.
The cop's going to give us an escort to Freddie's car, and he's going to let the bar.
Look at all this coming. I think we got problems, J-Ball.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned. I was like, you guys are around the truck, and I was going to be walking by all this.
And they call us cowards, but we're out here. Look at
Hey, they're all coming. Okay, we think good.
We're outnumbered now. We're in the thick now. Nah. I'm ready to fight.
All right. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. So what you saw, I guess, is a personal recording of the group of neo-Nazi white supremacists who descended on the historically all-black town of Lincoln Heights in Ohio last Friday. And if you saw a previous video, you saw actually what looked like police helping them get into the U-Haul in which they eventually drove to this neighborhood, got out, started displaying their signs of hatred. And then you're going to see in the other clip how they were ran off. But one thing that you heard in that clip, and I'll replay it again, is that one of the guys said, "Hey, Freddie, yeah, the cops are going to give us an escort to Freddie's car," and then and then he starts mumbling. You can't really hear because the other guy starts, talking a lot of rhetoric filled with, slurs. So I kind of blurted out all the slurs, all the profanity, but you can clearly, distinctly hear the guy say, "Hey, Freddie," or "Hey, the cops are going to escort us to Freddie's car." And now the question is, if the cops are escorting them, then they are part of the party, for lack of a better word. And you're going to hear the state representative Cecil Thomas talk about the police taking more stronger, decisive action in this case. But I'll have to ask you, how are the police going to take more forceful action when they are literally escorting them to and escorting them from the situation? Now, once again, I gotta shout out all the brothers and sisters from Lincoln Heights. I received a couple of calls from some of them, and if anybody wants to reach out, that's my number in my website, email up there. But I gotta shout out the brothers and sisters for going out and making it known that this is not going to be tolerated here. You can even hear one of the guys say, "We picked a good time," almost like they were there just to get the people's reaction. And that's something that we have to be careful, because just like Mr. Thomas says in this clip, only thing it took was one little skirmish and it could have went down. Just listen to my brother Cecil Thomas real quick.
Suddenly showed up on a highway overpass.
A big story, of course, last week. One local lawmaker who thinks so says he is determined now to find ways to help officers take action. And WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes on the story for us live in Evendale with more. Hi, Todd.
Yeah, Mike and Sheree, officials here in Evendale plan to discuss a resolution condemning hate groups during a council meeting tonight at 7. Move comes as Evendale's neighbors right across I-75 and Lincoln Heights remain on edge, and as State Rep Cecil Thomas vows to help police respond more forcefully whenever neo-Nazis appear out of nowhere.
Both last night and today, Cecil Thomas has been consumed with questions about Friday's sudden display of white supremacists waving swastika-stamped flags on a highway bridge connecting Evendale to historically black Lincoln Heights.
I question why there was no law enforcement action taken on Friday.
During a community forum filled with passionate calls for answers, Thomas touched on themes of free speech and the potential for violence, saying the people waving flags and wearing swastikas across their chest were carrying AK-47s.
All it would have taken is one little spark. And we could have had a bloodbath.
Thomas, the ranking member of the Ohio House's Public Safety Committee, said he's focused on creating clarity around issues tied to protected speech and what these Lincoln Heights residents consider menacing behavior.
They were on the bridge. They parked their vehicles in Lincoln Heights and then they walked to the bridge. They marched. The bridge is state property. I can guarantee you we will get some action so that if this happens again, law enforcement will have the authority to take action.
During an event today in Columbus, Thomas shared details of Friday's display with an even bigger audience.
We're sitting back and ignoring the growing hatred that's coming into our communities and thinking that there would be no backlash. Folks, our country's spiraling out of control.
Yeah, Representative Thomas making those comments during an event today in Columbus in support of Ohio's immigrant communities. Meanwhile, Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey says investigators are still digging into Friday's neo-Nazi display since deputies with the Sheriff's Department have a contract to patrol neighboring Lincoln Heights. Reporting live tonight here in Evendale, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
Todd, thanks so much. Representative Thomas, who was a Cincinnati police officer for nearly 30 years, says that he's planning to meet with the state's director of public safety to review Friday's incident and kind of figure out ways to help officers deal with similar events if they happen again.
All right, so that's a recent news clip from yesterday, I think. So they had this meeting again Monday, and actually I noticed a few people who was out there at the last meeting and even out in the streets with the people. But the council, the congressman, the state congressman, he makes some very valid points, but he's sort of towing the line between free speech and menacing behavior. And he mentions the police, being able to take action. But as you saw in that video, the police were literally protecting those men. And the fact that they parked their cars in Lincoln Heights and walked to the bridge is a direct slap in the face to the black citizens in the community of that historically black town. And so the fact that the police in the last video could be seen getting them ready to come there, and the fact that the police, the guy said, look, like they're best friends, like, yeah, man, the police gonna escort us back to Freddie's car, right? And so how is this state senator going to expect actions when the police are directly involved in bringing those people to and from the location? If I'm not mistaken, I think somebody commented that, even some black people got arrested, during that time. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. But also the bigger stage, if y'all noticed the last part of that article, he said, well, he spoke at a bigger stage. I guess that's in Columbus at the Capitol, talking about the immigrant concerns, right? The immigrant concerns. But they didn't come to a neighborhood full of immigrants. They came to a neighborhood full of black people. And, you saw him on the stage, he's smiling. I see the lady with the burqa or whatever on her head. But those weren't the people that were direct. Those weren't the people that were targeted. Those guys literally, they knew where they were going. It was almost strategic. Because you heard the guy say, yeah, we picked a good time. We're in the thick of it now. Look at all of the N-words coming. So if, many people in the comments of past videos think that, yeah, those are the police too. They are police in those masks. So but we have no way of knowing, but they definitely have a relationship with the police. And we all know through historical documentation that a lot of the Klansmen and those people were actual police. And so there's a deep rooted relationship between these type of groups and the police, and the fact that those police are literally escorting them to and from locations leads me to believe that that relationship is somehow still intact. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Once again, shout out to the brothers and sisters of Lincoln Heights for always standing on business as it relates to their historically Black community. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings.